Well, German customers will soon be able to buy an Apple iPhone without having to sign a contract with a firm that sells them a phone service. The handsets won't be cheap, though. They'll cost €999 each. Apple has teamed up with phone companies around the world to sell its handsets, but in Germany, Vodafone took legal action to stop its rival T-Mobile offering an exclusive iPhone deal. Well, Rogerio from Spectrum Partners joins us now to help unravel all this. What does it, just talk us through what this means for somebody wanting to buy an Apple iPhone in Germany?
Well, the result of this news that we have today is that a subscriber will not need to be bound to a long-term contract with a mobile operator and to have an iPhone. Of course, they will need to pay much more for the iPhone, but they won't need to stay with a given operator for 24 months or 18 months in the case of UK, which is good for the subscribers and maybe also for Apple.
But I'm interested in this. It isn't necessarily, I mean, one would think that this might not necessarily be good news for Apple, but it could be positive for them, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's a possibility that it will be positive. The reason for that is what is behind the agreement that Apple has with the mobile operators. They have, as part of the agreement, the mobile operators will recognize part of the revenues from the subscribers that use that specific device, and they will recognize part of it for Apple. So by not having the exclusivity with the mobile operator, Apple will lose part of the revenues that will come from this agreement, but on the other side they will have a much bigger addressable market. So just look at the number of subscribers or people that are trying to buy iPhones without the contract. You see the size of the opportunity.
Rogerio, it's Mariam here from New York. If you look at a company and a business model, how much sense does it actually make for a business to just allow one telephone provider to sell its phone? Surely it doesn't make much sense.
Well, that's interesting, and what is disruptive about the Apple proposition for the mobile operators, because with this revenue share story, that was the only way that the Apple found to convince operators to join this type of agreement, because the reason or the hypothesis underneath the agreement is that, as you saw, the price of the phone is very high, and also the subscription prices are very high, which means that the mobile operator will have a differentiation for the high-end subscribers. So any operator will agree to share their revenues with Apple only if they have the exclusivity on device.
And just briefly, this is going to have an impact on the way Apple sells iPhones in Europe, isn't it?
Well, what Apple has already figured out is that there is a huge demand out there for the device. They managed to replicate what they did with the iPod they did with the iPhone. They probably will start to rethink about their business model, but not only from the Apple side. If you see France and Italy, for example, the legislation in these countries also will probably push for a non-exclusivity type of agreement.
So it could be all change.
Yeah,
thanks very much. Well, some other stories to update.